Hi, I'm Brandon Leonard, Director of Strategic Initiatives with Men's Health Network, and I'm here on Capitol Hill for part 2 in the briefing series, What's Happening with Boys. And one of our distinguished speakers today on our panel is Ernest Clover, who is Director of the DC Dream Center. So Ernest, thank you so much for being on the panel.
Thank you, Brandon. It was an honor to be here.
So can you tell us a little bit about your experience on the panel and maybe something that you learned from the conversation today?
Yes, I thought it was great. You guys did a great job pulling together the practitioners as well as the researchers. And for me, being on the panel, it was wonderful to hear as a practitioner that what we experience, boots on the ground, is being backed up by the research, and there's answers to some of the developmental questions that we have and how to address and reach the issues that some of our young men are experiencing. So that was very encouraging to hear that today. I thought it was very well thought out. The presentation was wonderful.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about the DC Dream Center and just some of the great work that you guys do?
Yeah, so the DC Dream Center is located in Southeast DC, 2909 Pennsylvania Avenue, and it is a center for community. And I say that intentionally because we realize that community happens around the city, but how much community is life-giving, life-encouraging, and our mission is to, by one person at a time, to encourage and inspire youth and adults to reach their God-given potential. So that's the type of community that we're developing and inviting people into, and they're already meeting right here in our community. We've been there for 20 years, so we're there imparting our knowledge and our resources to something that's already there. And so some of the activities that we are engaged in, we have a mentoring program, and it ranges the ages from 8 all the way up to 18. And what we do is we find a young person who would like a mentor, and we engage the parent, guardian, and the child. And then we also find a mentor for that youth. And we try to we realize that relationship is key. So what we want to do is bring all parties together and say, this will not work. The changes that you want to see in your child won't happen unless you, parent, guardian, you, child, and you, mentor are all together walking in lockstep. So we ask for a 10-hour-a-month commitment and a 1-year commitment for that relationship. I've been a mentor for 6 years. It's been one of the most life-giving and educational things that I've ever done in my life outside of being married and having my son now. And so that is something that I realize being able to give back and to be the representative of what the change we want to see. That's what we get to do through our mentoring program, as well as our after-school program, which is 3:30 to 6, housed at the Dream Center. And what we do there is we provide a snack. We also provide homework help, and then we have an activity for the day. And there again, just because we're at a kitchen table and you're in a house, conversations happen there in that facility that wouldn't happen at a school or maybe on a street corner. So again, we really leverage the venue to make sure that we can pour back into the youth and really listen to what they're saying, because if adults are quiet enough, they'll tell you everything that you need to know, and then you can begin to build strategy around that and saying, oh, this is how we can address the issues that they're experiencing.
And can you tell us, particularly in working with young boys in this age group, elementary school age, what are some of the key things that you've learned about the unique issues that they're going through, and maybe some of the best strategies for helping them?
Yes, in sharing with someone right after the panel, I said, the thing is that unfortunately, we look at history as snapshots and not this continuous stream. So, for perfect example, getting to this is in the 80s when D.C. was a murder capital of the United States, those adults or those youngsters then who had children, we're still living out some of those ramifications. We're seeing it in our communities today. So the splintering of our community can be traced back to there or even before that even. So how we address it is we step into the gap and just say, okay, we realize that young men might not have positive male role models, so that's why the mentoring is so important. That's why having the tutoring is so important. That's why just putting them in the presence of people who will model to them good social interactions, or model to them what it means to be maybe civically minded. Those are the type of things that we realize we need to stand in the gap to provide. So when we look at our young men in particular in that age range, 6 to 10, it is being available. They're very moldable. They're willing to be with someone. It's just that a lot of times people are not there. And so what happens is they find those who are present. And a lot of times as a society, we would probably all sit back and say, well, we don't want you to be with those people because they might not be doing the best things, whatever that is, right, at any given time. But they're available. And that's what we've come to realize is like, wow, we really just need to be available for the kids in that age, because they are willing at that age to really engage you. If you just show that you have a little bit of time on your hands and you actually make yourself available for them, it's when they get to that high school age where they're kind of like, I'm done with you get on my schedule type deal. I got stuff to do. So we realize we just need to be available for them.
Well, Ernest, thank you so much for being part of the panel today and for talking to me. We really appreciate it. And we learned a lot.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you so much.